had a few people reach out to me and ask how I got started being a self-employed writer. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, and I love what I do. However, it would not be possible without any of the tech tools that I have in my arsenal. So today I wanted to give a quick overview of my favorite tech stack that I use for being self-employed as a writer. The first tool is a project management software. So my favorite is Asana, but I have a couple of clients that use Trello, and it's really effective for content marketing too. I think Trello is better if you have a team that needs to go through a set process, like a step-by-step sort of thing. Like if you're following an SOP or something. Asana works really well if you're just working by yourself or with a contractor, and that's what I do, so that's why I use Asana. The second one is QuickBooks. Oh my gosh, y'all, QuickBooks has saved my butt so many times, and they aren't paying me to say that. I started off with this QuickBooks Self-Employed edition, and that one's pretty user-friendly. You're able to basically be your own accountant in a way. If you're just starting out and you can't afford an accountant, that's a pretty affordable option. But I'm in this weird moment of my business where I'm still self-employed as a freelancer, but I've kind of grown beyond just the freelancer moniker. So I've actually hired an accountant at this point, and we've switched to QuickBooks Online. It is a little bit more expensive, but it saves me so much time and money because I'm not a numbers person, I'm a words person, and sometimes you just have to outsource the stuff that you need help with, right? The third one is my absolute favorite, which is Google Docs. I do not like working in Word documents at all. I think I've single-handedly converted a few of my clients over to using Google Docs, which is awesome. It's a good feeling. It's convenient because you can just share a link and you share all kinds of information with people. It's always the most up-to-date version. I feel like most freelancers are using Google Docs, but if you aren't, please switch over. It will save your bacon more times than I can even count. My fourth tool that I use, well, it's kind of two tools. So it's Hemingway and Grammarly. So I'm a professional writer, right? And I work by myself, but sometimes you're working on a piece and you get too focused in on it that sometimes you overlook easy mistakes with grammar or spelling. It happens. It's just going to happen when you're a professional writer. So I don't pay an editor usually to look over my stuff. What I do is I plug my content into both Grammarly and Hemingway. Hemingway is good for looking at the complexity behind your sentences. It will look at grade level. It also looks at the complexity of your sentence structure, and it tells you how to break it down and make things a little simpler. Grammarly is good for just like grammar stuff and spelling. So I always use Grammarly to make sure I don't send anything out with typos, because that would be bad. The fifth tool I use it's something I've recently started using, and that's Vidyard. So every now and then I think it's easier to just send a client a video response to something, or maybe I'm explaining a content strategy I've put together and video is more convenient. So I will use Vidyard to record both my webcam as well as my screen. It's almost as good as meeting up in person and looking over edits together. So it's a really nice way to give and receive feedback. The sixth tool that I cannot live without is Hootsuite. I know a lot of people don't like using Hootsuite. They find it like old or like not useful. That's just what I started my career with Hootsuite, and so I will end my career with Hootsuite. Not really. But I do like using it. That's what I use to schedule out all of my social media posts. They've limited their free account. I think you can only post 30 posts at one time. I don't really have a problem with the free version. I like it. You're more than welcome to upgrade, but I get what I need from the free version, so I'm happy. Seventh is a tool I've come to love, and it is Calendly, which is also a free tool. It lets me set up quick 30-minute meetings directly from my website. And y'all, I am not exaggerating when I say my conversion rate on my website has probably like doubled. I need to check the stats. But a friend recommended, hey, you need to add a calendar scheduling tool to your website to minimize the emails you're having with prospects. I said, oh, I don't know. Okay, I'll try it. It has made such a big difference, not only with my website leads, but also with trying to find a time to meet with people. It's so hard to find a time that works for you and your client. It's easier if we can just compare calendars, and pick a time that works. The eighth and final tool that I like using is a time tracking software. I use something called Timeular, and I like it because I should have brought it with me, but there is a dice that you put on your desk, and anytime you want to switch timing tasks, you just switch to a different face of the die. So it's a tactile version of tracking your time, and I like it because if I'm tracking time on my browser, I will forget about it, and I'm just going to have inaccurate data about how I spend my time. I like to break it down into buckets of, I think my categories are email, phone call, writing, pitching, and self-improvement. Some people like to do it by client task. I have too many clients to be able to do that, but if you're working on a few main accounts and you need to bill to them, this is a great tool as well. So whether you are self-employed right now, or maybe you're thinking about self-employment down the line, you don't have to use my tech stack, obviously, but I found that these 8 tools have been immensely helpful in keeping my business sane and efficient. So until next week, keep writing.